You're watching Let's Chat.
I wanted you to meet a couple of folks who are celebrating a very special occasion all across the Tennessee Valley area. To begin with, we have William Ward, who is the Executive Director for Pathways Young Adult Program. Mr. Ward, good to see you.
Good to see you.
And over on the other side, we have Marcus K. Johnson, and he is the business lender, one of the business lenders for TVFCU. So Marcus, good morning to
Good morning,
both of you.
Good morning.
Tell us exactly what it is that Pathways Young Adult Program does.
Pathway Young Adult Program provides housing and social services for youth that have aged out of foster care. Once they turn 18, they are considered adults.
Right.
So when that happens, they can elect to continue foster care through enrolling with the extension of foster care. Mm-hmm. By doing so, we provide housing and social services.
How long has Pathways been in business or operational, if you will?
We started in 2007.
Wow, so you've been around a while then.
Yes.
And you guys have formed a partnership with TVFCU. Marcus, next question is for you. Why is it important for those of you at TVFCU to partner with a program like Pathways?
Well, TVFCU, number one, is a community organization. And so what Pathway is doing merges perfectly with what we believe at the credit union. And with this being National Black Business Month, this is an opportunity for communities all across the country to support, promote, and highlight Black-owned businesses. So that's exactly what we're doing at TVFCU right now. We're using our social media platforms to do that.
And you guys have been doing and helping out great organizations, including Pathways, for a number of years. Mr. Ward, any idea roughly of how many folks that you have provided housing for since Pathways got underway?
Prior to developing a program for Pathways, I was a foster parent. I started in the late 90s. There have been a minimum of 500 males coming through my house. And there was a problem with youth that turned 18 coming back to me looking for housing. So I developed a program to accommodate these youth, to provide housing and social services, getting them on the road, hopefully to success by doing this. I was the first Black-owned business in 2007, a nonprofit, to do this in the state of Tennessee.
Quite an accomplishment, and I think your work since that point certainly speaks for itself. Over 500, wow.
Yeah.
In my house.
In your house. Is there any one particular success story pertaining to one of the folks who entered your house and left on a much better note?
Several. I only accepted males. They have gone on to Brown University. They have received their degrees. I even have a house parent that was in the program of extension of foster care, finished his GED and now has his degree. Several of my youth have owned businesses and started in the automotive world.
Wow. You hear stories like this, Marcus, and it kind of reinforces the fact that those of you at TVFCU made the right decision in helping out a program like Pathways.
Yes, absolutely. So our relationship with Mr. Ward, he needed to expand his housing. And so we were able to accommodate that with a loan request and allowed him to accommodate more young men so that he can continue his mentorship and continue to stand in the gap for those young men who need his resources and services.
And he brought out a very valid point that a lot of times these kids, I hate to say kids, but let's face it, anybody our age, somebody 18 is a kid, right?
Yeah.
You see these kids that are aging out of their foster program and they don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
And you saw that and you thought that's unacceptable.
Totally unacceptable, and they could not enroll in college or technical school or anywhere unless they have an address. And that's where we came in. The we gave them an address to make the application for enrollment in school or a GED program.
So many of the youngsters, and I've known several that have aged out of the program, and that's their biggest fear, that they're losing the structure that a foster organization puts into place for them. Losing structure for someone who's 18, and even into the best of circumstances, turning 18, not a day at the beach.
No, not at all.
What would you say to some other folks who might be contemplating getting into the foster care arena? What would you tell them to encourage them?
They need to understand that these youth need housing. They need support.
Sure.
They need someone that they can depend on. No fault of their own that they're in the foster care system totally, but I would encourage anyone to open up your mind to try to help these youth.
Right. There are so many other stories that you will see. You guys have put together a number of videos that are online at TVFCU. You've got Baker's Barber and Cosmetology College, Chambers Welding and Fabrication, Unveiled Bridal Studio, and many, many others. Yeah. You guys are continuing to do this, not just during a specific month of the year, but really all around the calendar, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so we're intentional about supporting all businesses, but particularly Black-owned businesses. Right. And so this month is just an opportunity for us to elevate that work and to show the community that we're here to support.
Gentlemen, we got to leave it there. A pleasure seeing both of you.
Thank
you. If you want to find out more information about this very inspirational program and the great things they are doing at TVFCU, it's only a mouse click away. We'll be back with more coming up here right after this.